Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Chris for American English Online. Today we're talking about 11 different expressions that are super common and they come straight out of American gun culture. Guns are a hot topic, and we're not really here to talk about whether gun control is right or wrong or if it's effective or not. We're just talking about how gun culture has affected the English language. There are tons of expressions and idioms that come straight out of Americans' relationship with guns. And we're going to talk about those right now. The first expression is to jump the gun. To jump the gun means that you started something too early, maybe you got excited and you did something before the right time to do it. We call that jumping the gun. The next expression can be both in the active and passive sense. So you might say that you have a gun to your head when you're forced to do something. Or if you put a gun to someone's head, you're forcing them to do something. So for example, somebody did something and then they regretted it. You might say, well, nobody put a gun to your head. You did it by your own accord. It was your choice. Another really great expression that you hear a lot in the workplace is when you're under the gun. When you're under the gun, it means that you're under pressure, usually to meet a deadline or to succeed in some way. You might hear someone say that they found the smoking gun. The smoking gun, or a smoking gun, is basically evidence of a crime, but it can also be used informally as evidence of wrongdoing. For example, I left my lunch in the company refrigerator and nobody knew who ate it, but we found my plate inside the boss's office. So that plate was the smoking gun. You might know the word shy. Shy just means timid, but the word gun shy means that you're afraid to take action, usually for something that's your responsibility to do. That expression comes from hunting dogs. And when a hunting dog is gun shy, he's unable to go after the prey. He's unable to hunt because the sound of guns scares him, so he freezes up. So that's, I think, where the expression came from, but what it means is that you're unable to do that. You're unable to take action. Have you ever heard the expression, guns blazing? Well, to come in guns blazing means that you enter a situation aggressively. Now, you don't need to physically come into a place. To come in guns blazing means that you enter that situation. So for example, somebody comes into a meeting or they participate in a meeting, and when they give their opinion or they give an idea, they are really aggressive about it. They think that their idea is the right solution, or they think it's the best idea or something like that. So yeah, he came in guns blazing, ready to go, didn't want to listen to other people. Another good one is a loaded gun. If a gun's loaded, it's ready to fire. Therefore, it's dangerous. And the expression kind of means that. A loaded gun means that a person is or has the power or the potential to do harm or to do damage. If they could ruin a situation or they could hurt someone, then we say that they're a loaded gun. There's another expression that is kind of sad, but it is an expression, and it's to eat your gun. And sometimes people would use that expression to say that someone committed suicide with a weapon. Another really common expression is stick to your guns. Now, you might use that to talk about yourself. Hey, I'm sticking to my guns on this. Or you could use it to encourage someone else. For example, someone has an opinion, but many people are against that person, but you agree. So you encourage them and you say, hey man, stick to your guns. I'm with you, I agree. Stick to your guns. It means don't back down. Don't get pushed around. Persevere. Sometimes when we're talking about goals, we say that we're gunning for something. And that means that we are ambitiously trying to reach a goal of something that we want. We want it really bad, so we're doing things that we need to do. Maybe I want a promotion. I'm gunning for a promotion. It means I'm working hard, I'm working late hours, I'm doing people favors, I'm gunning for a promotion. And our last expression is big guns. And we say that someone is a big gun when they are a person who's in power, or they're the boss, or they have the potential to make big decisions, right? So they're leaders, they're at the top of the hierarchy. And if we're talking about objects, it doesn't always have to be big guns. We can use that expression metaphorically to mean the game winner or something like that. For example, in a basketball game, we have 4 of the 5 starters. The best player is on the bench. At halftime, the coach brings in the big guns, which is the star player. So big guns just means that person who has power or has the potential to make big change or big decisions. So those are 11 super common American English expressions that come straight out of gun culture. Now, those expressions use the word gun, but we also have a ton of other expressions that either use the word shoot or fire or other words, but also come from gun culture. So I'm going to do another video in this little series so that we have even more expressions. And I'll tell you right now, these are super common expressions. So you're going to want to learn them and try to use them in your day-to-day conversations. Because whether you're for guns or against guns, we're talking about English. And Americans use these expressions independent of their views. So don't forget to subscribe, click the bell notification icons, don't miss our next videos. We do new videos every Friday and sometimes some other days. And as always, let's practice. Have you ever heard the expression, just to say that